A meeting room in the White House. President Trump holds a bottle of Mexican Coca-Cola, made with cane sugar, as he smiles for the cameras. "This is real sugar," he declares. Coca-Cola has agreed to use it in the United States. 3 floors up, in another office, his Secretary of Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., drafts a completely different statement: "Sugar is poison, and Americans need to know it." 2 men. 1 administration. 2 seemingly contradictory truths about the same white substance that sweetens our lives, and might be shortening them. It is death, it is life. It has toppled kings, sparked wonders. Conspiracy and science, crime and salvation, echo of shadows, flash of light. This is poison, cure or perdition, where the deadly and the miraculous merge into a single vial. The sweetest poison in the world isn't found in bottles with skulls, but in birthday cakes, soda cups, and school snacks: sugar. Atlanta, Georgia. Coca-Cola headquarters. In the secret labs where the planet's most coveted formula is kept, scientists don't talk about flavor. They talk about bliss point. The precise moment when sweetness activates every pleasure receptor in your brain without you realizing you're being manipulated. This substance isn't just an ingredient. It's a legal drug disguised as food. Like any drug, it causes tolerance, addiction, and withdrawal. Neuroimaging studies are conclusive. In 2007, Dr. Nicole Avena of Princeton University wired electrodes to the brains of lab rats and gave them free access to sugar water. The result? The same neural patterns as cocaine. The rats developed tolerance, they needed more sugar to feel the same. When the sweet stimulus was removed, they showed signs of withdrawal, shaking, anxiety, aggression. The only difference from cocaine is that sugar is legal, socially accepted, and we give it to children from birth. London, 1662. Catherine of Braganza arrived in England with more than crowns and alliances in her luggage. She brought a habit that would change history: drinking tea with sugar. What began as a royal whim became an empire's national addiction. Before Catherine, sugar was so expensive it was sold by the gram in pharmacies as medicine. After her, England built an economic empire on sugar plantations in the Caribbean. The cost: millions of African slaves and a national addiction that still persists. Catherine also unknowingly introduced the first wave of Western diabetes. Medical records from the era show a dramatic increase in the sweet urine disease at the English court. Mary Ann Cotton, the Victorian serial poisoner, had a foolproof method: arsenic in afternoon tea. Her technique worked because the tea was already loaded with sugar. Palates trained to sweetness couldn't detect subtle bitter notes. Sweetness was the perfect accomplice to poison. Cotton revealed something alarming: we can become so accustomed to sugar that we lose the ability to detect danger. Our taste buds, hijacked by constant sweetness, become useless as an early warning system. Between 1650 and 1750, sugar consumption in England multiplied 20-fold. The result: a population with rotting teeth, rising obesity, and the first documented type 2 diabetes crisis. The British Empire was built, both symbolically and literally, on sugar, and on the bodies of those who consumed and produced it. Washington, 1967. While the world focused on the Cold War, another battle was unfolding in discreet offices: sugar versus science. A secret meeting that never made the papers, but ended up costing millions of lives. Sugar industry executives funded Harvard studies to blame saturated fats for heart disease. Sugar was off the hook. Fat was the villain. That meeting marked the beginning of an era where money manipulated science. For half a century, humanity embraced low-fat, high-carb diets believing they were healthy. In reality, they were fueling the greatest wave of obesity and diabetes ever recorded. Dr. Ansel Keys, who popularized the theory linking fats to heart disease, received direct funding from the sugar industry. His studies, later discredited, ignored countries that consumed high fat but low sugar. Keys was a brilliant scientist, but also a man with financial interests. Those interests shaped public health policy for decades. The numbers expose the magnitude of the deception. Obesity surged just as we began following official dietary guidelines. 1980, 15% of Americans were obese. 2000, 30.5%. 2020, 36.2%. 2023, 42.4%. Each decade we followed nutritional guidelines, we got sicker. It wasn't a coincidence. San Francisco, 2009. A pediatric endocrinologist at UCSF sees something alarming. 8-year-olds with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Children who have never touched alcohol, but whose livers resemble those of chronic alcoholics. Dr. Robert Lustig investigates and finds that refined glucose, especially fructose, is metabolized exactly like alcohol. The same biochemical processes. The same liver damage. The same systemic inflammation. Lustig proved that one daily soda causes the same liver damage as a daily glass of whiskey. The difference? No one gives a 5-year-old whiskey for breakfast. His lecture Sugar, The Bitter Truth on YouTube has over 25 million views. Not for entertainment, but because someone finally explained why a whole generation of kids was developing adult diseases. Lustig's data was chilling. In 1980, pediatric fatty liver disease was almost non-existent. By 2009, it was alarmingly common. Type 2 diabetes in teens went from rare to 5,000 new diagnoses per year. Metabolic syndrome in minors jumped from 0% to 12.7%. Lustig was the first independent scientist to boldly call sugar what it truly is, a toxic drug disguised as a staple food. When Lustig published his findings, the sugar industry didn't attack the science. They attacked him. They funded studies to discredit his reputation, not his data, because the data was indisputable. Washington, D.C. Two political titans from the same administration are locked in a public war over a substance consumed by 99% of Americans. Trump wants Coca-Cola to use real cane sugar. Kennedy wants people to understand sugar is poison. This battle reveals that even the most powerful leaders don't grasp sugar's real issue. It's not the type, it's the amount. Market data tells a different story. While politicians debate sugar types, consumers have already voted. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar grew 14% in 2024. Regular Coca-Cola, 0% growth. People already know that sugar itself, regardless of type, is the problem. Yet a complex paradox remains. The same compound that is killing millions is essential for life. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's total energy. Its only fuel is glucose. Without sugar, your mind simply cannot function. No thoughts, no emotions, no memories. It's so vital that your liver can make it from scratch if you don't consume any. For millennia, sugar was scarce and precious. Our ancestors evolved strong preferences for sweet flavors because ripe fruit meant survival. That same instinct that once saved us now threatens us in an age of abundance. Sugar reveals an uncomfortable truth about evolution. Our bodies were built for scarcity, but we live in abundance. That disconnection is deadly. In emergency medicine, sugar saves lives daily. In severe hypoglycemia, A dextrose vial prevents brain coma. In dehydration, oral rehydration salts must include glucose to work. In ultra-endurance sports, marathoners consume 60-90 g/hour without harm. Context determines poison or cure. A diabetic in hypoglycemic shock needs sugar immediately. A sedentary person drinking soda is accumulating metabolic damage. Trump and Kennedy are both right and both wrong. Trump is right. Cane sugar is more real than high fructose corn syrup. But he's wrong because the difference is marginal, 50% versus 55% fructose. It's like arguing whether it's better to be hit by a red or a blue car. Kennedy is right. Excessive sugar is toxic, metabolically and physiologically. But he's wrong because, in the right context, sugar is essential for life. The fact no one wants to admit, the problem isn't sugar itself. The problem is that we've completely lost control over how much we consume. In 1822, we consumed 2 pounds of sugar per year. Today, 174 pounds. That's like going from a teaspoon a month to half a cup a day. We've multiplied our added sugar intake by 87 times in 200 years. Not by conscious choice, but through systematic industrial manipulation. Food corporations don't sell products, they sell addiction. Every formula is scientifically crafted to activate reward receptors and trigger irresistible cravings. One striking fact: executives at these companies don't consume their own products. In PepsiCo and Coca-Cola offices, fridges are stocked with water. Their children attend private schools where sugary drinks are banned. They know exactly what they're selling. The history of sugar is the most bittersweet of all. From royal palaces to corporate labs, it has been a silent witness to our most intimate decisions and our costliest mistakes. Modern sweetness reveals something unsettling, that the familiar can be devastating. That the line between nutrition and addiction is as thin as the rim of a soda can. And that sometimes, the greatest danger isn't what we fear but what we love too much to question. The next time you watch those white crystals dissolve in a drink, remember, throughout history, many seemingly innocent substances have changed the course of empires. Sugar, that charming deceiver, is still with us, awaiting your next decision. Is there anything more dangerous than a poison that tastes delicious? Next time you sweeten your coffee, ask yourself, is this a moment of pleasure, or a learned ritual? In the next episode, we'll dive into the world of poisonous mushrooms, from fungi that contributed to the fall of Roman emperors to deadly death caps still causing fatalities in modern kitchens. We'll explore how these silent beings have served both as weapons of murder and revolutionary medicine, and why a single bite can mean the difference between a memorable dinner and certain death. If you liked this episode, please leave us your opinion and subscribe. Like us. And remember, in the world of poisons, knowledge can be the difference between life and death. Poison, Cure or Perdition is a production by Francisco Martinez. Thank you for joining us on this toxic journey.